Hi everyone, my name is Ike Check and I make a lot of my own clothes. I thought it would be helpful to put together a video talking about some of the sources I use when I'm buying fabric online, since I, like a lot of you, don't live in a place that has good fabric options locally. And even when Joann's did exist, I didn't buy from them a whole lot because they didn't have the sort of stuff that I liked working with. I thought I'd start with Selvedge Denim since I use a lot of Selvedge Denim in my projects. The place that I really recommend you checking out is Pacific Blue Denim. Now, they're a wholesaler, so their pricing is going to be really good, but they do have a cutting fee for smaller orders, specifically for orders under 100 yards. It's $25, but you can choose up to 5 different fabrics with that. So it really makes sense to order from them if you're planning on ordering kind of a lot, because the more you order, the cheaper it's going to be. I think the last time I ordered from them, I ordered around 50 yards of fabric. And with the shipping, which wasn't cheap given the amount of fabric, and the cutting fee, it totaled around $500. So I ended up spending around $10 per fabric. That's averaged across all of the fabrics. Some were more expensive, some were less expensive, which is a really good price, especially for Selvedge Denim. Besides Selvedge Denim, they have a great selection of other fabrics as well, like cotton canvases and twills. To order from them, you can build a cart with swatches on their website, and then you'll check out, they'll send you an email to confirm. And then once you get your swatches and decide what you want, you can send them an email to place an order. Another place I'd recommend checking out for Selvedge Denim is Premium Denim Outlets. They're also a wholesaler, so their prices are really good, but they do have a cutting fee as well. It's $5 per fabric with a 3-yard minimum. Besides Selvedge Denim, they again have a great selection of other fabrics, including cotton canvases and twills. To order from them, you're going to want to send them an email and request swatches. It helps to be specific with what you're looking for. So weight of the fabric you want, color, and country of origin if that's important to you. And then you can place an order just by sending them an email. A place that I have ordered from a couple times that I think is a great resource for Selvedge Denim is Citron Jeans. They're based in Japan and they've got a great selection of Japanese Selvedge denims. They also have buttons and hardware as well, like rivets and buckles. Their prices, I think, are really good. Shipping can be a little bit expensive because they're based in Japan. Right now, they aren't shipping to the US last time I checked, but I did want to include them on this list because I think they're a great resource. A place that I haven't ordered from, but I've been really curious to, is Tuscarora Mills. They're based in Pennsylvania, and they're weaving all of their fabrics in the United States, including Selvedge Denim. I think their weaving is actually being done by family heirloom weavers, which I'll get into later in the video of some of the other sources I'm talking about. But besides Selvedge Denim, they all have some interesting hemp and linen fabrics as well as linen and hemp blend Selvedge denims. Their prices are a little bit more expensive than some of the other sources I've mentioned, but I think that just comes with small batch production like they're doing. For non-Selvedge denim and cotton canvases and twills, I'd highly recommend you check out Patriot Fabrics. They're the small yardage website for Mount Vernon Mills, one of America's last major cotton mills based in Tryon, Georgia. Their prices are really good. I think most of the denims are under $10 a yard, and most of the cotton canvases and twills are under $15 a yard. Mount Vernon Mills has also just acquired a bunch of looms from Vidalia Mills, and they're planning on starting to weave Selvedge denim, and I really hope they make it accessible to the public, because I love the idea of places continuing on the tradition of weaving Selvedge denim in the United States. Another place to check out for cotton canvases is Big Duck Canvas. They've got an amazing selection of all different sorts of weights and colors of cotton duck canvas. I do think they have some fabrics that are woven in the United States, but not all of their fabrics are. Their prices are pretty good, but I think that the big thing with them is selection when it comes to color and weight. I've ordered from them a few times. Another place I check out for non-Selvedge denims and cotton canvases and twills is Sell Fabrics. I don't think any of their fabrics are woven in the United States, but they do a lot of their dyeing and finishing here. Their prices are definitely a little bit more expensive than any of the other sources that I've mentioned, but they've got a great selection in terms of color and weight when it comes to those fabrics. They've also got a really great herringbone twill cotton that's a pretty spot on match in terms of scale and weight for the herringbone twill cotton that was used for the World War II era Marine Corps herringbone twill uniforms. I used that twill for the pocket bags in my last pair of jeans in a natural color, and I really liked it. If you're interested in working with natural fibers, I think websites that cater to reenactors and living historians are a great resource. The first one that I want to talk about is Burnley and Trowbridge, an excellent selection of natural fiber fabrics. I also think they do a great job of describing the fabrics. They also have a nice selection of hand sewing threads and sewing tools in general. They also have a nice selection of natural fiber tapes and ribbons as well. Another place to check out is William Booth Draper. Again, a great selection of natural fiber fabrics. They also have a bunch of hand sewing threads as well. This is where I get a lot of my linen threads for my buttonholes. And just like Burnley and Trowbridge, they've got a great selection of natural fiber tapes and ribbons as well. Geared more towards Civil War reenactors is Tartex Textiles. They've got a nice selection of wool fabrics. They also have some interesting wool blends as well, like jean, which in the 19th century was often a twill woven fabric with a cotton warp and a wool weft that I think would be interesting to use for some projects. A lot of their fabrics are woven in the United States. They've got a great selection of yarn dyed shirting weight cottons as well, which I think are actually woven by family heirloom weavers who are based in Pennsylvania. I haven't ordered from them personally, but I think they're a great resource and you should check them out. For linen specifically, I would check out Gray Line Linens. I haven't ordered from them personally, but I know a lot of people who have and recommend them. I also had an opportunity to check out their store in the Garment District the last time I was in New York, and they've got linen in pretty much every weight and color that you could ask for. They also have a nice selection of yarn dyed checks and stripes as well. For hemps, I've ordered from Hemp Traders a few times. I actually made this set out of their 11-ounce hemp canvas. Besides canvases, they've got a nice selection of other fabrics as well, including some hemp and cotton blends. And then if you're interested in working with knits, they've got some hemp jerseys as well. For wools specifically, there are a few places I would check out. The first is Fabworks. They're based in England and they're a mill end and dead stock store. I think their pricing is really good. They've got an incredible selection of wools. I think they do a really good job of describing the wools as well if you don't want to order swatches. That's kind of important. Because they're a mill end or a dead stock store, they sometimes have some really interesting things. I got this duffel fabric, this cream duffel fabric with a blue stripe from them a few years ago. But because they're mostly mill end and dead stock, if they only have limited quantities of certain fabrics. Also because they're based in England, shipping can be expensive. Another place to check out for wool is Door Mills. I got this cream wool with a navy blue stripe that I'm using for the lining of the blanket line denim jacket I'm working on right now from them. I believe this stuff is out of stock, but they've got an excellent selection of wools in a variety of weights, as well as some interesting patterned and textured wools as well. Another place to check out for wool, I haven't ordered from them personally, but I love seeing what they have, is Yorkshire Fabric Limited. I think all of their fabrics are woven in England, and they've got an incredible selection. They're definitely more expensive than any of the other sources I've mentioned, but they've got a really great clearance section with some really great deals. They also have a nice selection of cotton moleskins and corduroys as well. And again, because they're based in England, shipping is probably going to be a little bit expensive. When it comes to buttons, I use a lot of vintage and antique buttons for my projects, and I've had some really great luck looking on Etsy and eBay for those. I've also found some at estate sales. But if you're interested in using vintage and antique buttons for your projects, I'd highly recommend you check out the Button Baron, an incredible selection of buttons. They also have some vintage and antique buckles, as well as a selection of fabrics from family heirloom weavers, including a nice selection of yarn-dyed shirting weight cottons, and which are all woven in the United States. They also have some cool cotton webbing that I think would be great for like the handles on tote bags. If you're interested in more traditional like jean hardware, like buttons and rivets, I'd recommend checking out Dick's Denim. I haven't ordered from them, but I know a bunch of people who have, and they recommend it. For machine sewing thread and pretty much any sewing tool or accessory you could ask for, I'd check out Wawak. I use their cotton wrapped poly thread for all of the machine stitching that I do. Either Tex 40 or Tex 60, those are the two I have on hand. It really depends on the weight of the fabric I'm using and the kind of the look I'm going for. They also have, I believe, Tex 80, which is closer to what most people consider jean top stitching thread. I've also gotten pins from them. I think my gravity fed iron is from them, and some of my pressing tools are from them as well. Those are just some of the sources that I use when it comes to fabric and notions. I'm sure that I'm forgetting some. If you have a source for fabric that you really like, leave a comment, but let me know what you think, and let me know if you have any questions as well.